boom, we are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, recovering from too much Kvisky. It's Zach Elias. What's up, buddy?
I am. You see what I'm drinking tonight. It was so much more Kvisky than I knew how to deal with. Like, it was bad. I tried Jenna try what was left in it. She goes, that's the worst beer I've ever had. So there's one more left. It is now part of the back of the fridge brewery. Like, Eric can drink it at the Hanukkah party. It'll sit there for 6 months, and then he can drink the Kvisky and get off Wishnicket. Go on.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, we post it later. We've been having a lot of fun. Anybody who's listening to these shows, give us a good rating. Give us a good review. But the next time you go to a bodega and you get a nice coffee or a bacon, egg, and cheese, make sure you tell the person to listen to the show because we like when people love us, but we love when people hate us.
We do. We haven't gotten a lot of hate recently. Like, bring the haters on.
Sure.
Bring them. Yeah.
I got a little bit of hate for my audio being absolute garbage last week, and I blame myself, but you know who I also blame? My co-host was like, yeah, you didn't sound great. I wasn't really sure.
I didn't hear it in the moment. In the moment, we're just playing grab ass over here. But then when I heard it back, it didn't sound great.
Got a great show planned for tonight, but before we get into tonight's episode, Zach Elias, why don't you tell everybody why you are drinking?
Because of the amount of Kvisky and how awful that thing was, my cage was literally rattled. I needed to go back to like a Dos Equis, like a light beer, just so that I could like gather myself. Plus, I'm too something else is deep, some other beer's deep, whatever. My cousin served warm beer. Like, okay, fine, the first one of the sixer, but then he leaves the sixer on the counter. What are you doing here? Time for my cousin's dinner.
Are they British?
They are not. He's from Philly, though, so it's worse.
Oh, my God. I'm hanging out with somebody from Philly this weekend, and the Orioles are playing the Phillies. I texted him, and I said, dude, we're going to be watching the game together. How about a shot for every run that's scored? He said, like, are you out of your mind? I go, all right, how about, like, sex on the beach then? And he sent me kissy emojis.
That guy slays. Hey, Ron Katz getting wrecked on the Upper West with red wine.
Have you shown me something?
I hate to say it. You what? I gotta crack my beer. You drink. I showed you a Dos Equis. I showed it.
Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry. You hate to say it. By
the way, I hate to say it. That one of the most profound things you've ever said in your life. Red wine tastes like red wine. It tastes like red wine. It's prolific. It does, because there's so many subtleties to white wines. Red wine tastes like red wine. It just does. Some taste better, some taste worse. They just taste the same. All right, what are you drinking? Jesus.
From Bolero Snort Brewery. It's a regular American lager. I think it's like...
I would like that.
4.5% alcohol, which this will be featured at Milo's birthday party at the end of the month. I got it solely based for the name. The can isn't even that sexy, but it is called Jersey Sarcasm.
Ooh. Jenna should have that. Is there a pig on that can? She likes snout stuff.
No, it's the outline of the perfect woman. That's how I describe the state of New Jersey. It's like a perfect woman that's falling down.
Yeah. Or George Carlin calls it the armpit of the country, how it's shaped. Then he goes, kiss her where it smells. Take her to New Jersey.
I like this act because, again, this is in another world. Could be the name of the show.
Perfect snout or Jersey straw, whatever. What's it called?
Jersey Sarcasm.
That's not bad. Juicy Sarcasm. It's all there.
Release the Kraken.
Isn't it Ron Katz's birthday today?
It is. I was going to hold off. I didn't know if you knew.
I can't hold off. I can't hold these things that long. So I went. I saw them on the subway. Not them on the subway. They posted the subway picture of Ron and Rita on Facebook, which means they gave their camera to a stranger on the subway because that didn't look like a selfie. Neither of them look adept enough to take that good of a selfie.
Yeah, but I don't think that they had to worry about the person running away because Rita Reggiano's left tata was hanging out. I assume the person was just staring the whole time.
I didn't even notice. I was looking at his tatas. Apparently he hasn't been boxing.
Yeah. He's actually doing well. He sent me an article about they're doing a senior division in Saudi Arabia boxing. And he said, do you think I have a shot? I said, absolutely. Of rum, tequila, vodka, whatever you want to order.
You can absolutely go fight the Arabs. Let's go. I can't say Arabs?
No, it would be 2 hits. The guy hitting him and him hitting the floor.
In the senior division? I think I'll train him. It'll be like the reverse Rocky and Mick. I'll be the young, like, going to towel at him. Cut me, cut me, Zach, cut me.
I feel bad because the reference is slowly dying, but anytime anybody ever says Stallone or Rocky, I always just go, Mickey loves you, you son of a bitch. And, like, there is a
Ron Katz. Zachy loves you, you son of a bitch. Go there.
There's such a specific type of person that gets that joke, and it's a dying breed. It's not doing well.
Zachy loves you. You son of a bitch.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to tie into today's episode other than episode 233, calling this one Milo and the Kings.
Milo and the Kings?
We were just in the Virgin Islands, which is a false nomer because there were no virgins down there. I asked. And
Mr. Milo.
That's how they talked. That's how they talked.
I told you. You did. You said they're American. I said, no, church is church, man.
There was definitely a lot of Ohio type of speak down there. And the amount of people that we meet that we go, oh, his name is Milo. And they go, oh, little Milo. Down there, the first person, they all thought he was so cute. They said, oh, it's Milo. And they go, Milo, we had a very famous artist. He just died, Milo and the Kings. And I loved it because now everywhere we went, I would just say, oh, Milo, like Milo and the Kings. And at least two people go, boy, how you know about Milo and the Kings?
When they open with boy, you know you're doing all right.
It was
Did you get
one of those
shirt? You got to get a Milo and the Kings shirt.
I think I'd have better chance of getting it online. But as far as paying
online,
for it,
you can get a King and Duck Johnson shirt. What's the difference?
Zach, I don't know if I could have afforded another thing when we were down there. It was like, again, you and I, we live in New York for a long time. You're not prude when you travel. You know that things cost money. Have you ever been somewhere that you just go, get the fuck out of here? That's not how much that costs.
Always. Well, what do you
Zach,
mean?
We were at JFK, and if I told you that a $17 bacon, egg, and cheese on sourdough was the steal of the week, like, I should have bought all the ones they had.
I typed in Milo and not a single result from Milo and the Kings. It's like 8 pages of Google.
Keep typing. It's a Calypso band.
Milo
We've already
and
listened
the
to the music.
Bull, Milo and the Christmas gift. Oh, finally, Milo and the Kings.
This sounds like Ernest Goes to Camp. It's like Ernest Goes to Camp. Like Milo and the this, Milo.
They literally look like the Jackson 9.
Oh my God. So, Zach, my first patient on Monday. Now, I had a good time. I want you to know that I had a good time, and the wedding was amazing. And congratulations to Liam and Sarah. I'm so happy for both of them.
Give it 6 months.
My first patient, who's the sweetest woman in the world, who may be coming to the birthday party, she comes in and goes, hey, so how was it? And 20 minutes later, she is shell-shocked as I was screaming about all the terrible things that happened when we were down there.
So she's Rhonda Katz?
She wishes she was.
Nah,
but,
they all do.
like, it was just one of those things where we went to the grocery store just for some milk, and the AC was so good down there because it was 85 with 80% humidity the whole time. So you're just sticky everywhere, right?
Yeah, you're gross. Sweat for days.
I was sweating from places I didn't know I could sweat from.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. But we went to the grocery store, and I know what things cost, and we're walking up and down the aisle. They were selling Chips Ahoy, regular box of Chips Ahoy chocolate
Red label
cookies.
or blue label?
The blue ones.
All right.
Oh, I don't do soft and chewy. The regular
I don't love
ones.
them either. I don't love red labels. Some people swear by them. I want the good stuff.
Oh, we're in the minority for that. Speaking of the minority,
we are.
In this grocery store, $10 for a box of Chips Ahoy, and you're going, get the fuck. Again, in New York City, what are they?
Do they
5
want
or
Milo?
6?
Does it take your firstborn too? Like, what are we doing here?
It was so ungodly expensive, but I was able to come up.
Afford it? How do the locals do it?
They don't. They literally don't. I think they just
don't
serve
eat Chips Ahoy. Poor bastards.
All I know is we had a half gallon, some might call it a quarter of a gallon of milk at the end of our trip, which immediately goes in the trash. And the lady comes to clean our room, and I turned to her, I said, listen, we can only take so much. And she goes, leave it in the fridge. I take it home. I'm like, okay. Which, like, in America, no chance you're taking milk for. Oh, yeah, exactly, right? So I basically
I get nervous when the sell-by date comes.
Well, when you have a 1-year-old, that sell-by date is a week away when we finish it, because he's just crushing gallons right now.
Zoe won't touch the stuff.
I felt so bad for that lady that I absolutely was just yelling at about my trip, that as the week has gone on, and we're doing this episode later in the week, so I've had a chance to refine my material where I said, you know what? I'm going to come up with some positives. Are you ready for the positives of my trip?
Sure.
First one, we're traveling through TSA with bottles of milk, 2 of them, in fact. And Julia was like,
commodity there.
Well, I wish we brought... I would have brought so much more. I was legit worried. Julia drops the 2 of us off. I go through check-in, and she gives me this, like, you know how weed is legal state as far as the states go, but it's illegal federally? Julia kind of tells me, like, TSA says it's okay, the FAA says it's not. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how that's going to work, but I have flown enough to know that God help you if you have more than 3 ounces of anything. You're going to... Anything, right? So I go through security.
In front of them.
With the bottle in the bag, and I get up there. I said, this is milk, and I'm like puffing my chest out, getting ready to lay into somebody. I'm like, you're going to deprive. I'm going to go live on Instagram. I'm going to go live, whatever I do, and show them that they are depriving this poor 364-day-old child of his milk. Zach, the lady looks at me. She goes, is that milk for the baby? I said, yeah. She goes, does a quick test. She goes, here you go, sir. Right through security. Next time I travel, with or without a child, I'm bringing bottles of milk for me.
Just like, bottles of milk and like heroin in your ass, and it's all good. Just like, you're not getting checked at that point. But you got to have the kid.
It was so easy. It was like comically easy how this went. And when I tell you, I was ready to scream at somebody if they took us away. Second one.
They don't give a shit. So hell hath no fury. They're not taking that crap from some, overprivileged white boy. So like, just go through.
Who you calling white boy?
Exactly.
Second one was
the Kings.
It's very rare that there's a signature song, drink. Like, I love knowing the local shit, whatever there is. And in the Virgin Islands, and right when I get off the plane, they have a signature drink there called a painkiller. It is rum, it is creme de coconut, it is orange juice, pineapple, and then they sprinkle some nutmeg. And it was fantastic. Although, after 6 of them, it does the exact opposite of killing pain. It caused a lot of pain the following day. I had a million of them, especially when they were free at a welcome party and at a wedding. So sign me up. Yeah. Something I didn't know. It was fantastic. But I think the highlight of the trip, which is number 3, was, I get cheeky with the waiters at different affairs and things are happening. So as they're putting out the cakes, and the guy is using this plastic spatula looking device to do the schmear on the cake, and I go up, I'm like, oh, what are we serving here? And he starts talking, and I'm hammered, I can't really listen. He goes, but you really want to know something good? You see this thing? It's called a splatipus. I was like, I'm sorry. He goes, look it up, it's pretty good. And I mean, of course I look it right up. I'm dying. It's the little rubber spatula you put stuff on cake. It's called a splatipus.
Splatipus? That's amazing.
Flying home, this was the coup de grace. Now, it's 2024. If you want to wear a mask, I don't care. If God bless, right? What I don't get is the lady sitting next to me, who looked like she was easily the dumbest person on the flight. She put the mask on for the first hour, took it off for the second, put it back on for the third, at which point I'm going, what are we doing here? Like, okay, sweetheart, whatever makes you happy.
Sweetheart, you can't say that anymore.
I was thinking at you. I didn't say anything. Meanwhile, on the screen in front of me, they had all types of different, Sudoku and crossword, and I'm taking care of a 1-year-old who was an absolute goddamn nightmare. Sorry, no. Stay positive. I can get through this.
Wait, you had a crying baby the whole time? I would have fucking killed you.
He never cried, but it was as fussy as you can get before DEFCON 11.
Was he making noise?
Not the noise as much as he just wouldn't sit still, and there was 2 of us, and it was just like, it was miserable. It was absolutely miserable. So they have trivia where you... Through? No, I was holding him back. So there's trivia on the plane where you can play against people. And like, I was trying to do it. I won a couple rounds. I couldn't keep up, but monkey see, monkey do. The lady next to me starts playing. And again, I'm just thinking to myself,
savant.
Well, there were 15 questions. I've done 19 years of school. I knew 5, no problem. Had a good guess on 5, and then the other 5 was like, you could give me 100 guesses. If it wasn't multiple choice, I never would have gotten the answers. So I look over out of the corner of my eye, and she's getting some right, which just makes me think like, okay, I guess I was wrong. So then I start really focusing on what she's doing. Question number 7 that she's on. Which one of these scientists was not born in Russia? Fedorov, Konstantinov, Chekhov, or Alexander Graham Bell? She missed that one. She picked one of the offs, which I was like, oh, baby. Okay, you know what? She hit the wrong button. I wasn't thinking straight. It's okay. Next question immediately after. 1989, Pat Morita won an Oscar for his role in The Karate Kid as A, Mr. McConaughey, B, Mr. Magoo, C, Mr. Miyagi, or D, Mr. McCartney. Zach, she picked Mr. Magoo. It's just like,
So she was copying you?
No, I had stopped playing and was just watching her because I was dealing with Milo. And then the last one. Which president gave the Gettysburg Address? Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, or Clinton? And she picked Clinton. At which point I was worried because with that whole mass fiasco that she started with, I was worried I was going to catch stupid. I was sitting next to the dumbest person in the history of America.
You had 2/3 of the flight you couldn't have with a mask on because those things definitely work.
I couldn't believe that this lady just missed those 3 questions. I was dumbfounded how dumb she was.
Insane.
Right? Like, again,
was
you
she
hit a wrong
American
button.
Or was she like St. Johnsian?
Au contraire.
Yeah.
They're all American down there, sir.
Fine. Was she a Milo and the Kings fan? Or was she
I think she could have named the top 5 hits on Spotify. If that was a question for Milo and the Kings, I think she would have gotten it.
Or did she know Wings? Like, what are we doing here?
Which again is fair. Why are you playing trivia on a plane then?
Yeah.
Right.
I did that once on a flight and like mowed the field down to the point where other seats were getting a little pissy. Like, who's going over there at 34B? Like, they were calling. I heard people already calling my number. I'm like, oh fuck.
They didn't do. I've been on that flight before. There were no seat numbers there, but it was. I crushed Julia a couple times when we first got on the first time. I was like, all right, I'm done with this.
No, like literally, it was like a 3-hour flight. For like an hour, I was just unstoppable because, yeah, I've been to school. I know trivia. I drink and know things, and like I just stopped at one point because they were not happy. It was like JetBlue. It was used to be the only thing to do was just that. And
that was Wi-Fi, which is great.
Yeah, but like it was also it was literally the only the first time a game showed up, everyone was playing, and I just mowed the plane down. Yeah, Milo and the Kings.
Feeling jerky? Want to eat some quirky?
I got topics for days.
Yeah, be careful, because this is the easy show, because you had an extra couple days. Tuesday is going to be a real motherfucker.
Yeah, on my phone, first thing that comes up, that. So there's that. Okay. Your boy, King Charles, had his picture defaced. Did you see what they put?
It can't be worse than the blood thing that he was already in.
Yeah, it is. It was that guy Gromit, like the kids show. They made that. And then there was an animal rights group. They defaced his picture. They had to like go fix it. Still think it should have been Vigo. That's the best. So new NYPD is going full Yankees. Beard ban. Unless it's for religious reasons, you can only have.
This was covered on BYD a month ago.
No.
BYD.
It's back. They shot it down. Now it's actually happening. Only a mustache, because half the K cops.
Again, this was covered on this show.
Fine. Fuck off. Camel escapes enclosure at Cedar Point Amusement Park, causing patrons to run for their lives. Quote, that dude almost died.
You know what's funny? I saw somebody post online a joke about a camel being
fucking around that thing.
Somebody posted a joke about a camel being an Uber, and I had no idea what they were talking about. But okay.
I mean, this guy looks like he is not having it.
No.
Camel escaped from the zoo.
You hear about the giraffe that started to eat a kid over the weekend?
What?
You know how the giraffes, they only eat like the leaves and stuff? It reached in and actually had started eating the kid's shirt, and it was like a 2-year-old sort of lifting. Everybody was fine in the end.
As they are. Apparently, Dan Hurley's wife, Andrea, got violently angry over the Lakers' courtship and said to him, now you're bringing this shit?
I've been listening to a lot of stuff. I don't think that would have been... Because, like, you have to know that he's working so hard. She moves out there, knows nobody. Like, she has a great life. She has a great life on the East Coast. That was a
Jersey guy.
Jersey sarcasm.
Yeah, Kris Jenner, 68, says she wants to be pregnant again. Quote, your uterus doesn't age. Doesn't it? Aren't you a doctor?
Who would be the father?
Either one of us. For the story? Absolutely.
I don't think I'd need to be paid. I think I would pay money.
Yeah. For the mom, 68? Absolutely. Let's go. I'm sure that you have it on your list, and it is stupid as all hell. But the Joey Chestnut saga,
I didn't want to talk about it. Yeah, I don't.
Insane. This is not the IBF and WBF divisions of boxing and different governing bodies. This is competitive eating. This is like my softball bat not being approved because it's not ASA certified. It didn't pass the mustard on one of the playoff games. We went crazy.
What you did there? Pass the mustard?
Oh, I did the thing. That's insane, the Joey Chestnut.
That being said, the fact that last week you reported Kobayashi is officially retired from eating, and now they're doing... Anymore. I think the name is really good, Unfinished Beef, that they're going to be doing a head-to-head. But you know what it is? Like late September or something.
But by the way, okay, fine. You don't have a Joey Chestnut or Kobayashi. Who's the number 2 contender? Who's coming up?
Crazy Legs Crawford. That other guy.
That was Crazy Legs Crawford.
Well, I used to watch it all the time. There was this one guy named Crazy Legs. There was the Black Widow, like there was an Asian woman. Then you also had the guy that had an X, Rick Janis, with the X on his face. I was into competitive eating for a little bit. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. The best was they'd have a big fat guy that would finish in like DFL. I love the
fat guys. They should all be fat guys, like lard ass.
They should.
Teen boys are demanding pricey chewing gum to chisel their jaws. Report says, but does it even work? The 12-year-old boys are asking for it, apparently. And according to Dr. Kavita Mariwala, their results are as mewing, a facial fitness technique that involves placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth to create the illusion of a sharper jaw. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Is it working?
I'm so intrigued. It does not. Of course it doesn't work. I mean, the science is still out.
Zach, I'm doing it right now.
Expensive gum.
Look, is my jaw chiseled?
A little bit, actually. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty good. Fuck, it works. All right, whatever. I mean, what do I want to do next? Here we go. I'm a dietitian. This is the best Taco Bell order for weight loss.
Keep driving?
Buckle up, Buttercup. Kristen Carley, an Arizona-based registered dietitian. What the fuck that means? Is it 400 pounds in Arizona? Says she's found the best Taco Bell order for weight loss. A chicken burrito supreme fresco and a mad tasty grapefruit sparkling water. This meal provides a balance of protein and carbohydrates and fat, which can help maintain energy levels and support muscle mass. So that's what you order. You order the chicken burrito supreme fresco and some clear bullshit.
I met a registered dietitian one time, and I more or less started saying, like, so what exactly do you do, or how do you help? And the guy goes, did you ever read that book? And there was some book that was real popular like 10, 15 years ago, like a Fast Food Nation or one of those. I said, oh, yeah, I've heard of that, because I hadn't read it at that point. He goes, it's basically everything I tell people. He goes, I know nothing. I was like, okay.
North Korea, the Koreans in general. This is your number one? The prank war?
It is number 5. This is such a great story. Tell everybody what's happening.
North Korea, just to be that guy, the younger brother, has started sending balloons of trash and shit.
Why?
Because they can.
It's retaliation. South Korea has been
that
sending...
was the other way, I thought. I thought that they sent the K-pop after the balloons of shit.
I don't know what the order of operations was, but it's happened more than once.
Oh, no, they're going back and forth.
That South Korea has been sending, like...
It is the most lovable war act. Yeah.
Balloons filled with, like, pamphlets and K-pop and different crap. Yeah. And it's meant to be, like, peaceful, kind of. And North Korea is sending balloons.
There's another world out there other than these walls. They're sending garbage and shit.
Garbage and shit on them. I heard this story. It was one of those, like, hold on. I rewound the podcast.
That's what they look like. It's so good, full of shit.
I had to Google it. It was so good.
If your head's all over your house, you got to move. Like, what do? You got to move. We're just walking to work and a balloon full of shit and garbage falls on you. It's the worst. I mean, anything airport it gets me. But furious woman struts naked through airport in wild scene video. Thu Truong Nguyen, 34, is set to return. No good?
Say that name again.
Thu Truong Nguyen.
It's Win.
Sure. Well, she certainly won. Because they made her strip down and, like, for a check, and she just
they check her for sticky stuff to make sure she wasn't throwing anything.
Yeah, well, she's throwing plenty because she just decided that, okay, well, I'm not going to get redressed, and just walked through the airport like that. The entire rest of the way, just full on, because win. Yeah,
win.
She just
That's a winner.
She's a winner. She's just walking around, cheeks hanging out, full beef. Love her. Yeah, it's on. So she's my winner.
That is your winner. Before we move on, I have to say it because, me, Joey Chestnut, the Neville Longbottom to my Harry Potter, same birthday, same day, same year.
Go on.
Which one of us is more famous?
Oh, you probably now. He's retired. He's eating Beyond Burgers.
Red, White, and Chew is worth watching. I don't know if you saw that 30 for 30, but where he
I did.
I
did see that one, actually.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Hey, Zach, what you watching?
I'm balls deep into Clipped.
Oh,
it's
we've only
really
seen
good.
We've seen the first one.
We're 3 deep because that's all they've. So now my problem is the players don't look great. The Blake Griffin's face is right, but he's 80 pounds too light.
He's also way short.
It's an actor, but
the only one that looks right is Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes is spot on.
The mustache. It's the mustache. But JJ Redick looks okay. He's the only white guy in the whole team. Not another guy at the end of the bench. Rivers looks good. Florence Fisher, but Ed O'Neill is so good as Donald Sterling. And he gets worse. Especially he's played the same character 3 times, just getting slightly richer. Bundy to Modern Family to Donald Sterling.
Now, Modern Family was, I guess he was a horn dog because of the whole wife younger than his daughter, but he wasn't as inappropriate on that show.
I listened to him on Mark Maron, and he goes we didn't know what we were doing in this. This show could have been made today, Marriage Children. He goes, why? He goes, the first 3 episodes, what are you doing? We're making fat girl and midget jokes. You can't do that today. The whole show was that. It's incredible. We're watching that, and that gets you there. You're gonna hate this. The Acolyte, the new Star Wars show. You hate anything Star Wars. I know.
I don't.
We like that. And anything Gordon Ramsay. The Generations, Gen Z just cooked.
I'm not into it. We're watching it too.
Well, my generation doesn't exist, but my closest generation, the one I'm rooting for, hasn't gone yet. I'm all in on Gen X.
Oh,
you just want the millennials, don't you?
I'm not rooting for anybody as much as I thought the Baby Boomers one was just really bad. Just real bad.
You didn't like the stewardess guy?
Which one was that?
The gay guy with the hair, the stewardess. What?
Nah,
I don't know.
I don't remember that. I was watching with one eye. It was
anyway. I'm all in on Gen X because I'm a Gen Y. Mercifully, by 2 months, I miss being a millennial like you fruit. Ridiculous. Two? What?
Two gay jokes in 1 minute.
You can say stewardess. Anyway.
Whatever. Was he actually a stewardess?
A steward, but or whatever. Yeah,
you know what I was thinking about leading into this? I didn't want to say, tell a stewardess. Of all the really mean things that you're just not allowed to say anymore, I'm not okay with that one. I do not. I don't think I'd ever say it to their face because I don't want to offend them.
What do you care?
But you and me right now, there's a lot of words we should never say or things that are politically a lot, right? I have zero problem saying that word. And maybe in 20 years, they'll look back and be like, oh, they were just saying that openly. Those
pearls. Yeah. Why is that about? Why is why is secretary a problem? Administrative assistant. Too many words. Yeah.
Julia just finished a show that she's been working on for a year, and it came out last week on HBO. Now, I had too much of a heads up, so I think it was kind of ruined for me. If you tried to sit down and watch this show she's working on, it's called Phantasmus. It is technically a comedy, but the way that it was described by one of my favorite podcasts, they said it's a dream world sketch show. And just know that it's not. There's no plot really, and it's not supposed to make sense.
SNL meets Donnie Darko.
Yeah, on LSD. On LSD. That's exactly what it is.
Meets Doc Ellis. What are we doing here?
You know what? It's only a half hour, and now that I've told you that, and I went into it I have to watch this. I laughed out loud hard 3 times, which is pretty good for a half hour. It's just one of those things where they lean into the bit. Where I'm not ruining anything, but he's in a cab, and in the back, the guy's watching a TV show, and Julio goes to change a channel, and the driver's like, no, leave that on there. And then what the camera does is it goes to the TV show and shows you what it is, but stays with the show for like 6 minutes. So you're now watching a completely fictitious spoof on Alf, which is just fucking hysterical.
Text it to me, Orgasmo.
I will. Phantasmus, which I will text it to you, but more importantly, the next episode comes out on Friday, where I officially can say in my bio, as seen on HBO.
What? You're in it?
I'm in it. I haven't said I'm in the goddamn show on HBO. What do you want from me? Like, okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to come and get it.
If you want to license things, if you want to use things, it costs money. So when you want to make a website, a different, you just make your own. It's just way easier than going through the process of everything else. Well, Julio Torres, who I do believe is openly gay, maybe bisexual, he was using this Grindr-esque site, and they needed to make their own. Julia said to me, do you have any pictures that I could use for this fake Grindr? And I was like, how much are you paying me? She said 0. I said done, and I sent her my, Elvis looking photo and a all body photo from way back in the day, where I'm on HBO as of Friday night is all I know.
I hope to God they start knocking your door down.
You'll never. It's actually, she sent me the screenshot, which I'm not allowed to share until the show comes out, where you basically have to pause and zoom in. But Zach, it might be the highlight of my fucking life. Right?
Yeah.
The best part is, like, I'm telling people and they go, oh my God, are you nervous? I'm like, dude, do I really think that, like, somebody's going to recognize me and go, oh, you're that there's a million pictures and I'm just one of them.
I hope it's like from Friends when Joey does the VD thing. It's what Mario isn't telling you. VD, and he's on every subway. It's going to be you. Everyone's going to know this.
I can only hope that, but I'll send you the list. It's a half hour worth watching, and like the cameos are fantastic. Like Buscemi has like a solid 3-minute role that is piss your pants funny.
All right. I'll check it out.
The show makes 0 sense. I'm not telling you
this show.
Oh, wait, we have a through line. I mean, there's a topic here.
Yeah, we have Samantha too. Here's your through line. What's she doing?
I'm gonna see her on Saturday, and I'm very excited to.
No, you're not.
Pishadoo of the week.
Wait, she can do a Milo's thing at the track?
I don't know, but I'm going to see her at this bat mitzvah on Saturday. That you're not.
Who's getting bat mitzvah?
A friend of a guy of a friend of a cousin.
Knew a guy, blew a guy? That kind of thing? Perfect.
First candidate, Pishadoo of the week. Did you see that Florida State, who is ever so famous for their colors of... They probably have a fancy name, but it's basically burgundy, gold, and white. Do you know they're doing turquoise uniforms this year? Like big, blue, bright turquoise uniforms.
Like baby blue?
Yeah, like robin's egg blue. Yeah,
Ew,
it's not
bad.
Good. It's really bad. I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't have a history. It looks absolutely stupid.
Hate the marketing people.
Candidate number 2, Julia has strep. So what do I do when she has strep? I make her matzo ball soup. Milo's starting to eat lots of food. So what did I do? Took some of the noodles, took a matzo ball, cut it up, put it in his bag, send it to school. They send us reports. How much of the bottle did he drink? What food did he have and when? I get a report back from his school that he ate all of his pasta and soggy bread.
You could have pretty much... That is him in a bowl. Matzo ball soup. Noodles and matzo balls? That's pretty much the kid.
I like it. But them saying it was pasta and bread, you're like, oh my God. It's so goyish.
Well, aren't they Chicanas?
This is an easy one. But why not? I thought you were going to sink my submarine. But there was a Trump rally in Phoenix where I don't know if you're following this on the news, but do you know that like Phoenix, Vegas, all them are having like 125-degree heat waves?
Yeah.
They had a Trump rally and 20-some people were hospitalized due to heat stroke.
Pretty good. They're going down with the ship.
I tell you, that is playing with the band where I don't care who you're into. I don't know who I would. Actually, I'll just say it. I'm not standing in 110-degree weather for just about anything.
Yeah. Maybe a Springsteen concert. Really, or I'll rally for him. No, pretty much nobody else.
A concert you would... no, you wouldn't last that long. Dude, 110's fucking hot. It is very, very hot.
We were in Aruba and my Fitbit died. And I got in customer support. They go, well, it's supposed to make it to like 120. I go, well, I'm in Aruba and it's like 111. They're like, yeah, then I'll do it. They sent me a free one.
Did you hear that Martha's Vineyard is running out of pot?
What?
they have dispensaries out there that can sell weed, and they're running low, and they're basically saying like for the summer they're not stocked up and they don't know what to do. I thought this was one of those like, this is
you know who's never run out? The illegal guys back in the day always had pot for days. You need pot, they've got pot. Like, it wasn't a hard thing to get.
You're telling me you run a dispensary, you just don't go, because nobody's checking regular cars. Just go to another place, buy some, figure it out. This was one of those things that go like, this is not a problem.
Go to South America and you are open for business. Like, this isn't a hard thing to do.
Calling attention to it, I thought was the dumbest thing, or maybe I'm the idiot and this was one big marketing campaign. Who knows?
Yes, but back in the day, before there was dispensaries, you could get pot with 4 minutes notice anytime you want. I never had a dealer or another say, can't help you, kid, I'm out. No, it's like, come here now, let's go. You bring money, you'll get what you need. How is this hard to do? How is it hard to get pot?
I think it's just the specific, they can only grow so much, it's regulated. But this is when, like, why tell anybody? Just go buy some from the illegal people and stock your store, and you're out of the Rice Krispie treat. It's like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
But again, it could be one big marketing. When you go up there for the summer and you go to the dispensary, you're like, quick, we gotta go. They're running out.
When it's 20% more expensive because they're running out. There you go. You got
Can number 5
pricing.
South Korea versus North Korea balloons. Moving on. This bothered me more than it should. Julia said I was being stupid. We get off the flight in St.
John. You get balloons of that size. You can't just go into like a party city and get that thing.
North Korea has slavery. I don't know.
Who knows how to build a balloon? Where do you start? If someone said you build me a balloon, where do you start?
Okay, your problem is the size. Let's go to your second statement. Build me a balloon. It doesn't matter how big. I have no idea.
I don't know how to start.
How do
I make a balloon?
Doesn't matter.
You gotta work with 3M.
That's one of those things. So you and I would agree that there are a bazillion jobs in the world that you and I see and go, I could have done that. Like, how hard is it?
I can't make a balloon.
I can't make a balloon. Do you know what I saw the other day? And I watched it for way too long. Some surgeon took a piece of celery, snapped it in half, and then stitched it back together the way they would in Achilles. It was way more complicated than I thought it was. I watched it twice, and I just went a million years. Like, because you basically are doing this like loop, swoop, loop, swoop, loop, swoop,
loop,
at the end.
They can do that in Big Daddy.
Right. But at the end, like, I thought you stitch up an Achilles just kind of like you're sewing. Yeah, it is this one big circle through, and then it's all loose. And at the end, you do one big pull, and it's all tight. I watched that and went, I have a better chance of making a balloon. Like, I have no idea. It was so complicated. We get off of the flight as soon as we land in St. John. Mind you, we left at 8 o'clock in the morning out of JFK, and we go to the baggage check, and it's empty because everybody on our flight is at the bar in the airport buying overpriced drinks at 11:30. I turn to Julie, I go, what are we doing here? Like, we're getting ready to go to a resort. We're going here. Like, and she's like, what? People like drinking the second you get there. I'm like, the second you land, you go to the bar. I've never drank in an airport. I've never drank in an airport when I've landed, waiting for a flight.
I'm not sure I've ever bought anything on the way out.
Never, right?
Anything. Just zero I need. And I'm usually yelling at Jen or anyone to like I need to be the first bag off the thing. Let's go.
Yeah. I have bought duty free at the airport just to have at the hotel, like just some booze and stuff. But again, to stop and pay for a $17 painkiller in the airport, I was like, I can wait till we get to the next bar, which I did. When we were waiting for the ferry by the water, I had myself a drink.
Oh, we're waiting for a boat. Then it's all hands. You'd be smashed at that point.
A boat's a boat. A mystery box, it could be anything. It could be a boat.
Oh, it's so good.
I watched
season 1, by the way.
Is it?
Something like that's early.
I watch a decent amount of baseball still. I didn't see this live, but when they had the Dodgers playing the other night, they mic'd up Kike Hernandez, and he's doing the like, this guy's good. And he's like moving. Maybe he plays for I think he might play for the Red Sox now. But anyways, he's like moving with the play. Have you ever seen where they're actually talking and playing at the same time?
I hate that.
He booted a ball and made an error mid-conversation.
Yep. It's the stupidest thing in the world. I remember they had on the Mets-Phillies game, they had Harper mic'd up at first, and Alonso walked, and he said, hey, Pete, I'm mic'd up. Just because you knew Alonso was going to like curse or say something stupid. It's like...
Yeah. I watch a decent amount of the Orioles, like mic'd
I
up.
would have dropped an insane word at that point.
They go up and they go, hey, I'm mic'd up, and you just hear beep, 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 like when it's the YouTube version the next day, because the person just goes up and goes, cock shit balls, like every single time.
Yeah. How do you not?
This is a big general for everybody, but because it was your boy Eric, why do people talk in GIFs? Like, what the hell are they doing where you write like, oh my God, that was ridiculous, and they send you some stupid like guy falling off the chair going, that's ridiculous. And I think it's so childish. Or is it like you're so old and you're trying to be cool from when I find it really annoying.
I like movie quote GIFs.
It has to be very applicable. I'm talking like
spot on. It can't just be like, some random cat. You can see Caddyshack, but like, it has to be spot on.
No, I'm telling you that like I'll have a conversation, say something, and he does it a lot, and other people too. They just send you like it's almost like they go to the gift store and type in like funny reaction love, and it's like a person. It just has no meaning whatsoever.
The site to go to is Yarn Quotes. You put any quote from any movie, they'll give you the GIF, and you're off to the races. Yarn is excellent. Just work for Yarn.
10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, which is Eddie Bravo's studio. I forget where this was, but I wrote it down. But early morning, Saturday morning, there's a security cam in the BJJ studio. You just see the instructor getting ready for class. He looks outside, sees a guy breaking into his car. He goes out, confronts him. The fight ends up back inside the studio. What do you think happened from there?
The jiu-jitsu guy killed him.
Strangled him dead. Are you kidding me?
Dead?
Not like unconscious, like out. Like, why in the hell of all the places would you pick any fight?
Any martial arts studio. There's no way it goes well.
But jiu-jitsu is also one of those where there's a guy who's gotten very, very famous over the internet. I can't pronounce his last name. He's this Italian kid. He is the nerdiest kid you'll ever see. It's like Mickey Miusi, whatever. I'm going to send you a picture of him. You're going to laugh your face off. And then I'm going to tell you, he could murder 99% of the world.
So one of the...
With his bare hands.
Yeah, one of the masters at Zoe's, different Taekwondo, not the one she was at previously, looks like the nerdiest dork. He's got glasses. Yeah, apparently he won the city championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this guy looks like, if you lined up all the people that have ever taught her, he would be the last one I would pick. And he is a fucking machine.
Yeah.
Just a machine.
It doesn't make any sense.
Champ. Like, that's the guy.
My
picked on in like elementary school, so he had to get real good real fast.
Bronze candidate. The Orioles last week did a promotion. They called it Upper Deck Golf. They closed the stadium. They put people at the top of the very thing, and you just got to drive a golf ball as far as you can hit it. Know who the Pishadoo in this is?
Anyone who's ever done one of those stadium golf things.
I think it's the Mets for not doing it, but okay. Why is that?
Absolutely done it. Eric and I have done it.
Oh, woo.
It's $10 a swing.
How many swings did you do?
9. So you get to go to different platforms. All you need is a wedge. You don't get the driver. You just need a wedge, and you just from different areas off of like a wobbly metal target get to just whack golf balls into the middle of Citi Field. And this sounded so cool online, and when you get there, it was such a boop.
It's a cush, right?
You just want to be anywhere else at that point. The highlight of the day was when we played the pitch and putt in your Citi Field before that.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Add me to the list here. My
really not fun.
Silver candidate was... I hate to be political with Hunter Biden's trial, but I guess what I didn't know was he had written a book or something of that fact where he called, and I quote, "I have a crack superpower."
He's Charlie Sheen.
He's up there, right? That is actually a really good comparison.
He's up there with.
I've heard like the deliberations in his trial. It's like, look, Trump was fucking guilty, okay? I love him or hate him. He was guilty, okay? I don't care, because the argument that Trump not being guilty was, but what about the other guy? Cool. This Hunter Biden trial was one of those where I heard this and I went like, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I said, hold on, this Trump trial, like, Stormy Daniels is going to get up there and be like, this is what happened and how it happened. What are we wasting our time for? This Hunter Biden trial, where I heard he had written a book where he talks about doing crack and having a superpower, I'm going like, All right. And then they apparently, when they first deliberated, it was 6 yeses, 6 nos, which baffles me about this system. But I heard crack superpower.
Yeah, he's the best.
My number one candidate of the week. And I think I'm going reverse osmosis here. Did you hear there's I think a town in China. By the way, this is a write-in where people do send me articles to talk about. Most of the time they're old. Most of the time we know about them. And most of the time they're just stupid. But from Dallas, Josh, he sends me in China, they are now doing timers on the outside of public restroom doors. So when you go in, the people outside know how long you've been in there for. Love it. Love the toilet shaming. Why aren't we doing it?
Why aren't they like... What if you're in there for like 3 minutes pissing? They just applaud as you get out? Like, that's an amazing piss.
That's fine. But when you go in there and you see that person's at 11 minutes, that's when you go. You have the right to go, all right, buddy, bear down on something. You've been in there 11 minutes.
Oh, I'm a knocker. I'm definitely a big knocker.
After how long, though? You don't feel even a little bad?
No, I'm slamming on the door after 5 minutes. Maybe not
Zach,
even.
I think this speeds people up. If I know there's a timer out there.
It's like a pitch clock.
It helps, doesn't it? Think about it. That you're going to come around on this like, oh, yeah. And you would not knock. You walk in there and that pitch clock says 20 seconds, you're not knocking. But when it says 2-3 minutes or more, you can just walk right in. It gives you the right to walk in and immediately start knocking when they're at 7.
I'll knock for them, but if I'm in there, you can knock for days. I don't care. I'm taking all I need. I'm using all the toilet paper. You can knock all you want. You're getting cardboard. Yeah.
Florida State turquoise jersey of Florida State. We have pasta with bread, aka matzo ball soup at my son's daycare. Okay. Trump rally, heat exhaustion. Martha's Vineyard running out of the Chiba. South Korea versus North Korea balloon fight. Cruising bar at the airport. Mic'd up with Kike messes him up. We have gift conversations. Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy gets robbed, but then he gets his payback. We have the upper deck golf. There was the crack superpower and toilet timers. Zach, who's the Pishadoo of the week?
I think it's Martha's Vineyard. How the hell are you running a weed? This is terrible. That or anyone who chooses to rob a martial arts studio of any sort. Unless you've been training for 40 years of this thing, it's just not going to go well. There's a deli next door where the guy's just going to hand you his money. What are you doing?
Boozer Day, the podcast. Thanks for listening to tonight's episode. We had fun. We're going to keep doing this. Happy, definitely birthday to number one, Ron Katz. And Father's Day's this weekend. You get anything good?
No. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to a steakhouse, and Sunday they leave me the hell alone. Can't beat it.
Julia got me Omaha steaks. So far, we've gone through it. It's been amazing.
Really? Is it like Obama steak? Pretty good.
We out.
All right.